Hello, my dad. My dad's probably watching this video right now, so that's why I'm shouting out to my dad right away. Hello, my dad.
Your dad's great.
My dad's commenting on all the videos. He's our biggest fan. Not even kidding about that.
Your dad actually is our biggest fan.
Maybe Toby. It's true. Like there is a run between Toby.
Toby, you got to try a little harder, buddy.
Match. No holds barred. My dad versus Toby.
Toby, you got to try a little harder, buddy. If you have any hope.
Toby doesn't comment on every single video. PJ's comments on more videos. Everybody, it's picks of the week. This should be coming out on the 13th. The 13th, yeah, Friday the 13th, January 2017. Our first picks of the week of the year, I believe, right?
Yeah. We didn't have one last week.
We didn't mean to miss one. We're going to try to get better on that. No theme for this week. We're just going to pick some things, and you guys are going to listen to us, hopefully, unless you quit. Nothing special? You got any other thing to introduce?
Not really. Yeah, I mean, sorry we missed last week. It was like I guess it was an emergency sort of deal. Wasn't high on the priority list, but we're gonna get there.
Hey, you filmed a solo video. I appreciate that. Now that
that was for Monday.
A solo video. I'm gonna do a solo video.
Yeah, your dad didn't watch it though.
No shop, no listen. That's the plan. That's what you guys should all have. No shop, no listen.
Wow. Okay.
One day we're gonna have a real wrestling match, you and I.
Let's do it.
We're gonna film it. Let's buy a trampoline. Anyways, it's a
real wrestling match happens on the trampoline.
It's gonna be there's gonna be two types of fans. There's the no shop, no listen, or there's the no Joe, no show.
We should make shirts.
Their hashtag no Joe, no show, no Joe, no show, or no shop, no listen, no shop, no listen. Anyways, that's a quote from my dad. My dad watches this show.
So let's get going with picks of the week. How about you start?
I'm a network nut. I watch random things on network. Which, by the way, I'm going to have an intro in the Joe and Shop show about that. I'm just going to talk to you guys for a second. Wait, the Joe and Shop show already happened for you silly people. Never mind, we're filming this before Joe and Shop.
Well, even if you're listening to this before the Joe and Shop show happens, go on.
Yeah. I just watch random things. So lately I've been watching Countdown. I love going on the network and watching Countdown. There's plenty of episodes, and it's just top 10s. Top 10s are such a simple concept. Anybody can make them. Everybody has their own version of top 10s, and it's simply WWE's version on the network. And apparently it's with fan input. I don't know how that happened. And I think it's an older show too, because it uses the old logo, and it has like guys like CM Punk in it and like Brodus Clay. So either way, I think it's really entertaining to like kind of watch like top 10 blunders and then like learn about the Dungeon of Doom, like the crazy jobber group that was like creepy, and Hulk Hogan was supposed to go to the Dungeon of Doom, and I don't know, I think that stuff's really fun. Or top 10 SmackDown moments, and number 10 is JBL going to Japan and then fighting Godzilla. Like, I just love that stuff. Like, it's great for learning about stuff and also being like, oh yeah, reminding yourself of what are the top 10 returns. Of course, number 1's John Cena at the Royal Rumble. I mean, it's hard to get bigger than that. I forget what number 2 was. It might have been Shawn Michaels at SummerSlam. I forget. I know number 10 was Bret Hart, but it's just fun seeing stuff like that because you can remind yourself. You make your own list in your head as you're watching it. You can kind of react to certain ones. And I like it most as learning because, I don't know. Ooh, that's really loud. Shut up, Garrett. I got roommates. They're loud people.
What loud people?
I don't know. Top 10 IC champs. Like, it's really hard to know every single thing about wrestling. Like, it'd take a ton of time for you before watching these videos to just know every single thing about wrestling. Like, you know the gobbledygooker. You know everybody. I don't know why I brought up the gobbledygooker, but like maybe you want to know who the best IC champion was. So you go top 10 IC champs, and you get people like Chris Jericho, who holds the most. You get people like Ricky Steamboat. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't have really much to say about it. It's just a really simple series. But it's just highly entertaining to watch for an hour, to just like sit there, keep it on, and be like, oh yeah, that moment, or oh, I didn't know about that moment. Like, teach me about it. And you get these people who were there. You get these people who were part of the company, and I appreciate it because they don't just include WWE moments too. They have the WCW stuff, and I don't know. I just like it a lot. Like, I think top 10 returns. One of them was Sting, and I didn't know much about how he changed his gimmick, but apparently before the 1997 Starrcade, he had changed his gimmick to like that crow, and I didn't know this, but like he didn't actually return yet, but he would stay like in the top balcony of the arenas. And
The rafters.
Yeah, that's what they're called. Do you know about this?
Yeah, I know about
Yeah,
this.
he just kind of...
I actually watched all of the... Did these episodes come out like 2014?
Yeah, probably.
Yeah, I watched all of them.
Yeah. He would sit up on the rafters and people would just be like, wait, that's Sting. Like, even the audience would be like, whoa, that's Sting up there. And everybody, like, he looked different because he went from, his, like, happier face paint, like, as a face, and he was still a face, but he went to, like, the Crow, like, the darker stuff. But he just sit up there in the rafters, and then he returned and won the main event in 1997 Starrcade. I don't know. Just fun to learn about stuff like that.
Yeah, he won it in very BS fashion.
Yeah, it was actually like a botched ending. Not even kidding.
Yeah, like it was supposed to be a fast count, but I think Hulk Hogan told the ref to not do it. Or there's a story that Hulk allegedly told the ref to do that just so he didn't look bad.
Yeah, Hulk Hogan obviously has an obsession with making himself look good and not losing ever. Which, by the way, Hulk Hogan, as far as wrestling ability goes, is not the greatest wrestler that has ever existed.
No,
he's got a leg drop. He's got... What else does he have?
He's a big star. He
has the star power. He has, the charisma. He has the showmanship, but he doesn't really have the in-ring ability. That's why whenever people hype up matches like WrestleMania 3, like before the slam on Andre the Giant, that match was just slow burning. A lot of those...
but you had to... it was one of those things that it was, at the time, it was a big deal.
You know what else was another screwy Hulk Hogan moment? WrestleMania 9. It was Bret Hart versus Yokozuna. And doesn't he lose to Yokozuna?
Yeah,
and then Hulk Hogan just comes out of nowhere and just beats him in like seconds. And I'm like, oh.
Yeah.
He
refused to drop the title to Bret Hart, so he dropped it to Yokozuna later on.
And then later on in WCW, he refused to lose to Jeff Jarrett. So Vince Russo says, okay, I'm just going to have Jeff Jarrett lie on the ground for a 3 count and just say fuck it to the pay-per-view. Fuck it to anybody who paid money for this. We're not giving a real match. Hulk Hogan wants to look good, I'll make him look terrible. I don't know. I don't like Hulk Hogan that much.
Yeah, it's definitely one of those things that like deteriorated over time, but
he's definitely one of those guys who
like you can't have like Will Ospreay as like in the 90s. That would not work.
Yeah, and then also like with Shawn Michaels, whenever he returned to WWE as a face, not Hollywood, he had a match. It was supposed to be 2 matches, and it was only ended up being 1 match. And Hulk Hogan was going over, so Shawn Michaels was like, "What the hell?" Like it was supposed to, be even, and Hulk Hogan's just obsessed with
that match. Is hilarious.
That match is great. We got to talk about that match in some time. Anyways, this turned into Hulk Hogan hate, which it shouldn't have. But anyways, WWE Countdown. Watch that series. You don't even have to. Like anybody could watch that. You can learn from that series, and it's just so easy to learn from it too. It's just in a format we all know and love. You watch it, it's entertaining. I think you and I all got together once and we watched top 10 worst gimmicks, and I learned about Gobbledygooker. I learned about all of the terrible, terrible ones. Red Rooster.
You know what you should do?
What should I do?
This is well, I don't know if you should do this for picks of the week or anything, but you should watch the Edge and Christian show on the network.
Yeah, I mean to do that.
It's so good. It literally, they just give them like a half hour to do whatever they want. It's amazing.
Is it scripted?
I mean, probably, but it's still like funny.
I was just curious.
Like,
no, I wasn't like dissing. I was just curious if it was like a scripted show or not. Like, or if it's just like Swerve where they just do whatever they want.
Oh, yeah. But they pretty much do whatever they want. But side note, the Talk is Jericho episode of Christian is also like one of the best. So that's it.
Christian's cool.
That's all I'd say.
All right.
Christian is awesome.
All right. I had my pick of the week. You have your picks of the week. You had your pick of the week, and they're going to come together and make picks of the week. Let's do this.
All right. So I finally watched it. I watched the greatest match of all time. It's Kenny Omega versus Okada. Are you being a mark, or
are you being serious about that?
No, I'm not. I'll get into it. But Kenny Omega versus Okada at Wrestle Kingdom 11. Now, this match is really controversial. Probably because, I mean, it was really good, and everyone said it was really good. I thought it was good. I mean, I don't really, I don't. People are saying it's not good. I don't agree with that, mainly because I think those people just don't want to like adapt to sort of the different style that New Japan has. It's like the matches are built up and up. Like this match is 40 minutes long. Like the first 20 minutes is very, very slow. with just a couple big spots thrown in there with like small stuff building up into the big spots. And then it kicks into high gear. You know, there's like a big table spot, which was nuts. A lot of knees to the chin. A lot of knees. Those looked very, very devastating. But yeah, Kenny Omega never hits his finisher too. I thought that was really great. Like he teased it like 5 times.
Does he win? No, he doesn't win, right?
No, he didn't win.
Okay,
but he teased it like 5 times, and he never hit it, which I thought was great because like I don't know. So often now you see like false finishes where it's like, oh, he's going to hit his finisher, and he tries it like 4 times, and he hits it the 5th time, and then the guy kicks out, and it's like, oh no. But like this time, he never hit it. So whenever Okada hit like his 4th finisher on Kenny Omega and pinned him, it was like, oh dang, that was a surprise. So I also it adds an element of realism because you don't, like he doesn't have to hit his finisher. Like I don't know, but the reason this match is so controversial is because Dave Meltzer, the Wrestling Observer, gave it 6 stars and said it's the greatest professional wrestling match ever put on.
Really?
Yes. Now, the thing is, people are upset, but I mean, I don't understand why everyone's so upset. It's literally a star rating. Like, it's just a star rating that Dave Meltzer put. Why do you have to...
People look at Dave Meltzer as the end-all, be-all rating. Like, they look at that as the rating of the match. It's kind of like, I don't know, if the Game Awards says something is Game of the Year, which that's the Video Game Awards, like, people will take that as the Game of the Year. There were no other Games of the Year, and they'll look at the Game Awards as the decision maker of what Game of the Year was, even though there's hundreds of different opinions, hundreds of different sources that can come from. Is it kind of like that?
I mean, it's I don't know. It's literally, if Dave Meltzer thinks it's the greatest match ever, then okay. I don't think so.
Here.
That's fine.
So I'm going to take this as someone who didn't watch the match. Did you have anything else to say? I didn't want to interrupt. No,
I definitely recommend that everyone should go watch it. It's definitely a great match. And, I mean, Okada's young, so we don't know what's going to happen with him. But Kenny Omega... he's definitely going to go to WWE one day. As for people who say that because he tweeted that he's leaving Japan for now, that he's going to go back to WWE, that's not true because, I mean, he has all eyes on him right now. And him saying, hey, I might go to WWE, something like that, is going to put more eyes onto him. And thus, when he makes his inevitable return to New Japan, he'll be more popular. And the guy hasn't even won the IWGP Championship yet, which he totally can. And if he does win it, then there's more of a chance that he'll just go right to the main roster and he'll be as big as AJ Styles is. I don't think he's ready.
Oh, I think it's debatable he'd be as big as AJ Styles, but...
What do you mean?
I don't know, but...
What do you mean?
Does Kenny Omega have the history that AJ Styles has?
No, that's why I'm saying he should stay in New Japan, so he gets the history.
Okay, good. I
if
thought
he's an
meant, like, he wins the title, he sits around, then he just comes.
No, I'm saying like 2-3 years from now when he is, the IWGP champion, they hold that very high, in regard because AJ Styles won it. I think in his like first match, Brock won it. Shinsuke won it too.
Shinsuke, I'm getting a shirt, strong style shirt. I'm excited. But yeah, now that you had everything to say, since I didn't watch the match, let me put in like this is what it sounds like to me, like. Whenever something has less eyes on it, if people enjoy something that has less eyes on it, people like to get behind it more and kind of support it more and be like, hype it up to people who haven't seen it and be like, hey, this is better than anything else that you've seen. And what it sounded like as an outsider was something like Undertale. The game Undertale where everybody played, like, it was this indie thing that, like, no one had played, no eyes were on it, and anybody who had played it, every single person I heard said it was the greatest game ever created by a man. And then I played it, I'm just kind of an average Joe guy, and I'm like, oh, that game was really good, but I wouldn't say it was the greatest game ever. Every single person I had heard who played the game, though, said it was the greatest game ever, and it's kind of like there's this mentality where it's like, if it is, like, indie or it's like below like the mainstream and it's really good or just good, people are gonna try to send it up to the, just like message it up to the mainstream, overkill with, hey, this is the best thing ever. You need to see this, where it might not actually be, but that's them just trying to get exposure on it. And then when they get the exposure, it's kind of like, oh, that's what it sounded like to me, at least.
Yeah, I mean, how come you get all these guys coming up from NXT, and they get shat on? Like Tyler Breeze everyone loved in NXT. He was great. Came up to the main roster. The crowd didn't care about him. Or the vaudevillains. The crowd doesn't care about him. People weren't, crapping on Kevin Owens saying that he's fat, or Finn Balor for being a vanilla midget in NXT. Because whenever we get up to these main shows, then you got more eyes on it, and I think people hold WWE to a higher standard when it comes to those guys. That being said, though, this match, I wouldn't be surprised if this match is better than any match at WrestleMania this year. I'm just throwing that out there. It was still really, really good, but I recommend I don't know. It's hard to go in blind now to watch it, but I mean, I personally, I don't know. The Kota Ibushi and Cedric Alexander match that I put as match of the year last year, I honestly think I like that more, just because it was like, it was two complete unknowns. I wasn't expecting anything going into it. Yeah, that's the end.
Yeah. I'll try and watch the match, but 60-minute match that, I don't know, a 40-minute match, but it's like a 60-minute runtime with intros and everything. I just saw a funny meme. Anyway,
it's worth watching. I mean, just because it's long doesn't mean you can't sit down and watch it.
I know. I'm bad at that, though. That's what I'm trying to say. I'm terrible at that.
Well, you gotta force yourself to. That's what I do.
I don't like forcing myself to watch something, though, because then it's like I'm not trying to enjoy it. I'm just trying to get through it.
No, you have to force yourself to sit down and start watching it.
Okay, that's true.
Because I literally do that. I've been watching Star Trek recently. All the episodes are an hour long. I just start it. I don't want to start it, but I start it and I just keep watching.
Yeah. See, I have a complex with my mind where I just sit there the whole time and go, oh man, how far am I through this? Oh man, it's not even close to being over. Turn it off. I'm really bad with it. Very bad. Not just wrestling, any TV show, any movie. I'm bad. I've been trying to get better, though. I've seen 3 movies in the past 3 days. I am terrible at watching movies, and I'm happy about that. Anyways, that has nothing to do with wrestling. It's just, that's why I watch stuff on the network. It's more consumable and less like I have to pay attention because I'm awful at that.
Well, what are you going to do?
What are you going to do? I'm going to tell you a funny meme. It's a picture of Mae Young coming out of Raw, and the caption, Mae Young, you know Mae Young, right? The old as hell lady wrestler, not a wrestler, but the caption says, Emelina making her Raw debut in 2090. And there we go, boys. Have a great day. It's Friday, and I hope you have yourself a great weekend. Make sure you watch Countdown. Make sure you don't watch Kenny Omega versus Okada. Is that his name?
Yes.
Oh, thank God. Because my picks are always the pick of the week. And then his is the sub pick of the week. Let's be honest here, guys.
Wow.
Be honest with yourself. What do you really want to watch? You want to watch a bunch of funny stuff with countdowns or cool stuff, or you just want to watch a match where a bunch of marks go and that's the Joe and Shop Show.
This video's over.